Welcome to Community Forum. Joining us this week is Sarah Rinker, who is the Center Director of Budding Harmonies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about just the background of Budding Harmonies.
Budding Harmonies is out at the School of Harmony. It's our early childhood music education program. We wanted to do something with our preschoolers, and I love children and I love music, and so we thought this would be a great opportunity to do something for the community, do something for our children.
And what was it that initially got you involved? A little bit maybe of your background.
Well, I'm from a musical family. My mom teaches over at Appalachian Bible College in the music department, and growing up we did all kinds of music, piano, other instruments, and we sang in our churches, sang at home school. I've taught for about 25 years private lessons, and like I said, I love children, and I wanted a chance to get to work with them at a young age, and so I went looking for something to do with them. I've taught the Music for Little Mozarts program before, so we thought it'd be fun to do it in a classroom situation. I came across the Music Pups curriculum, which was developed by Rob Sayer for the music class down in Atlanta, Georgia, and I totally sold on that program, and so it was it's one of my favorite things to do. I have as much fun as any of the kids in the classroom. I really think so.
Oh, that's awesome. And we have all these great instruments and props and CDs and books here today. Tell us about some of the classes you're offering right now.
We have two classes that we have. We have our Music Pups program, which is for 0 to 4-year-olds, and then we have our Music for Little Mozarts program, which is for 4 to 6-year-olds. Both of them are technically parent-child classes because the parents or the caregivers have to be in the classroom with the children, participating, learning right alongside them. The Music Pups program is a little bit more of an appreciation class, learning to keep a steady beat, learning to sing in pitch, exposure to a lot of instruments, plus all the ones that I bring in to show them and for them to try out. Music for Little Mozarts is a little bit more of a keyboard-based program where they'll learn to play the piano.
That's so great, and that's awesome. They get to have a fun day out with their parents, and then their mom and dad kind of get a feel for what they're interested in.
Yep.
And I'm sure that helps as they transition into school.
Yes, yeah, there are a lot of benefits, not just musically speaking. They are learning to develop social skills. I only have 3 drums in the classroom, and so they have to learn to take turns. They have to learn to share the instruments. They have to learn to work together because we do all these group activities that they have to learn how to function within a group. We have rules in our classroom. We have a large colorful foam map, and so they have to stay on the mat with the instruments. They have to stay on the mat for our class. They learn how to follow directions as I tell them, okay, this time we're going to jump on the word hop or jump on the word high, and they have to be able to respond to that. Then, like you said, with the family, so many of the parents have mentioned to me how much they enjoy getting to be together with their kids and share this with them. It's just a very, very fun class, and the parents enjoy it, the kids enjoy it, so they're making good memories together, bonding.
That's so important. How often do they meet?
They meet Tuesday nights, once a week. It's a 45-minute class that meets for 10 weeks. In our spring session, we'll actually have a little bit of a break in between. We'll get 1 week off in May, but it's a 10-week class that meets for 45 minutes on Tuesday evenings. We currently are doing a 5:30 class and a 6:30 class, but with our spring session, we're planning to do a 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 classes.
Well, that's perfect. Right after school or after their older brothers and sisters get out, they can head right over and have a nice activity. Mm-hmm. And I know you said you came from a musical background.
Yes.
Tell me a little more about your musical experience.
I play the piano, and I also play the violin. Those are the 2 instruments that I did out of my family. I also teach. I've taught music as far as voice. I've taught piano. I've taught violin, and I've also taught in a elementary school and in a middle school in Virginia when I lived there. I teach at Appalachian Bible College, one of their music classes, and I work with the kids choir over at ABC. I played the piano for my church, and so really I don't remember. People ask me, when did you start piano lessons? And I don't remember. I was that little when my mom's, because my mom is a piano well, she does other instruments too, but she does piano, and she started teaching me at a really teeny tiny age. So I graduated from Appalachian Bible College in their music program, and then I went on to Marshall, and I got my master's from Marshall. And so then I love music and I love kids. Sharing it with anybody I can.
That's
yes.
the perfect way to bring them both together. And tell me about this Music Pups program.
It's an awesome program. I really cannot speak highly enough for it. When I knew that I wanted to do some sort of early childhood program for preschoolers, I Googled to say, okay, what is available? I was familiar with kinder music. Also, in college, I'd been introduced to some other curriculums for the classroom, but it just kind of, it didn't fit me personally. So I came across the Music Pups curriculum, again, by Rob Sayer, and they had clips on their music class website, and I got to see him interacting with the children, and so I started talking to them by email, and I said, I think this is the one for me. So it's a fantastic program. The music is so engaging. Every collection is new music, about 30 to 35 new songs each time. But they're not the kind of songs that after about 10 minutes as a parent, you're like pulling your hair out. And you're like, I can't listen to this anymore. They're very, very singable. They're easy to learn, but they are so fun. And even the parents really get into it and love to sing it. But more than just fun, they actually are learning musical concepts. Like the main thing that we stress is what we call independent music accuracy. So kids are learning to maintain a steady beat. Each time as we do our songs, we're either playing on an instrument, like shaking an egg in time, or we are shaking a bell, or we're hitting sticks, or we're marching around the room, or even as we do what we call our play-along song. They are playing all these different kinds of instruments, and they're trying to keep a steady beat. They also learn tonal patterns and rhythm patterns. Basically what happens is I'll give a pattern, and then they echo back to me. First we do it as a group, so then that way it's a little bit less scary.
Right.
And so I'll say like ba, 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 and then the group will echo back ba, 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 ba. Exactly, very good. You're Pups parent
We
here.
got it.
And then we'll do individual ones. And it's a really neat time for the kids because it's that special one-on-one, and they all run up. And again, but this is a social skills aspect where they get in their little line and they have to wait their turn for their special tonal pattern or rhythm pattern.
Moment.
Yes, their big moment in the sun. Everybody claps for them when they do it. And so, it's very validating for them. I also love their emphasis on world music. So each time that we have a new collection, it has a particular flavor. Like our winter collection was more of an African flavor. We even got to hear a South African vocal group do a song that my kids just loved to do. So we would listen to, it's just a little unique sound for them. And then we had a couple of other African folk songs that we would do. This collection is a little bit more of an Americana kind of theme. We have some folk songs like Polly Put the Kettle On. We also have an American Indian chant that we're doing. But each collection not only has our familiar songs, they have world songs, and they have a variety of tonalities, I guess what we call them, like the majors, the minors, the modes. They'll do a variety of rhythms, like typically in Western music we do our meters in groups of 4, so we have 4/4 and 3/4. Music Pups, we start introducing them to 5/4 and to 7/8, things that are less familiar, less comfortable, even as the adults are trying to do it. It's not in our regular music. But at their age, they don't know any better. And so
It's probably best to teach then.
Oh yes, exactly, because then it becomes normal. It's the difference between learning to speak a foreign language as an adult or as a child. It's so much easier when they're a kid. So I loved their emphasis on fun but quality, and I feel like and also creativity. They each time we do a class, we have we call them substitution songs, where they will have to pick an animal, or they'll have to pick a color or a place, and then they'll give suggestions, and we'll incorporate their suggestions into our songs.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it gives them a chance to say, this is a safe place to share an idea, and my ideas are validated. Sometimes it gets kind of crazy. We ride blue and white ponies, and we get to walk dinosaurs, and we'll go and see the elephants driving in our car. But we try, unless, like, the one that gives us grief every time is, what sound does a giraffe make? That's always tricky because they don't really make any sounds. So then we have to kind of make
really
things.
Use your imagination.
Exactly. So it's stretching for parents and teacher too.
Have you seen some of the students, especially the little ones, just their personalities shining through?
Oh yes, it's been really neat. The first class, typically they come in and they're kind of a little bit more withdrawn. They want to hang out right next to mommy or daddy or grandma or grandpa, depends who brings them. And but then usually by the end of the first class period, they're starting to come out, and by the end of the class session, they're just all over the place. And so we're completing our second offering of this class, and it's been neat to see the students who've done the first session and the second session, how much they have just blossomed. So when they come into the classroom, it's just like, I know what to do, and this is going to be fun, and they're wide open, and so I love it.
That's so great. Tell me a little bit about the benefit of music education for infants.
Sometimes people will ask, okay, my baby can't sing, my baby can't hold an instrument, why should I have them in a music class? And I say to them, you don't expect your 3-month-old baby to talk back to you, but that doesn't stop you from speaking to them. And in fact, if you want them to talk, you need to speak to them. And there have been studies that have shown by the time a child is 6 months old, they've already learned to prioritize sounds. They know which sounds belong to their mother tongue and which sounds they're going to discard because they're not the ones that they're going to be using to speak. And so the goal is to make music their mother tongue. And so the sooner they start, the more it becomes natural for them. There also have been studies that have shown the earlier a child starts, the more proficient they become as an adult. And it's not just because of the length of time they've had to practice. It has to do with the way that their brain is developing. And so then they start overlaying those concepts and those skills as they are, even as an infant.
That's so interesting. We are going to take a quick break, but we have so much more to talk about. I can't wait. So be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Community Forum. If you're just joining us, we have Sarah Rinker, who is the Center Director at the Budding Harmonies. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we were just talking about the importance of music education for infants. And I know you have 3 little ones. Do you want to share their story?
Sure. I have 3 that were born this last summer, and so they took my class in the fall. Some of them started at about 6 weeks. Their parents had them in there with an older sibling. So now they're finishing their second session, and they're about 7 months, 9 months, and then one of them just celebrated his birthday and turned 1 last month. And it's been really neat to see how they have already started, even the little 7-month-old, trying to participate and making those cooing noises and vocalizing as everybody else is singing. And several of the parents have told me that, when they have the baby in church, then the baby hears music and tries to sing along with it. And, so it just shows you, even before they were able to actually participate, they are absorbing it, and then as they get older, they're trying to already start producing what they see the people around them doing.
That's so
really
cool.
Neat. Yes, it is.
Cute,
and it's so sweet and so cute.
Aside from just all of the musical benefits, are there any other benefits that you see them picking up in these classes?
Yeah, there are social benefits. We talked about taking turns, like with the drums, or having to share. We've also, some of the parents have said they're amused by how much better the kids are helpers at music class, because after we've done an instrument, then we pick it all up, and I have the kids help me put it away. Yes, and so and they all love to do it, and they're very good helpers. They have to learn to work together. We have something we call a stretchy band, where everybody sits around and holds it, and then we bounce it in time. So they learn, to work together. Or even during the free play, when they have the boom whackers out, they can line them up in a row or stack them up, and they have to work together. There's the physical development that they have with learning to do the different motions or use the fine muscles with learning to work some of the sticks and things like that. There's a family bonding that we had talked about earlier with the parents, and just building those so important bonds in between parents and child. Following rules, learning to obey what they've been told to do in the classroom, or following instructions when I say, okay, we're gonna stand up and we're gonna walk around, or we're gonna hop on this, or we're gonna crouch, whatever the instructions are. Also, there's mental benefits. There have been studies that are starting to prove links between music and math scores, or memorization, or even a higher IQ. So by coming to a music class, they're not just having fun, they are becoming more well-rounded individuals.
I think all of our parents watching are like, when can we sign up?
Yes, you should do it today.
What would a typical class size be?
We usually have 5 to 8 toddlers is what when we say toddlers, because a lot of times then they'll bring in their babies. So if I have, like in my 5:30 class, I have 7 toddlers and 3 infants, plus I'll have all the parents, and sometimes I'll have a mom, a dad, a grandma, and a grandpa who all come with one child, which is great because we really encourage the whole family to get involved with us.
And what would, for people who may be coming for the first time, just a normal first class be like?
We try every class session to have the same routine, which is at this age, structure is so important for them. So when they come into the classroom, we'll have songs playing, music playing. Typically, it's our CD that we're doing, so they recognize the songs. And they'll do a musical free play with these things we call boom whackers. So these hollow plastic tubes that are pitched, very colorful. Then when it's time to start our class, every week I bring a mystery instrument, is what I call it. This class session, we've been focusing on how smaller things make higher pitches and larger, longer things make lower pitches. So I've brought in a xylophone, a marimba, a lever harp, that's a Peruvian panpipe, which we brought in, and we'll sing a song with whatever instrument I brought. And then the kids get a chance to touch it, to feel it, to try it. And this is a good chance for them to say, maybe I'm going to be a percussionist, maybe I'm going to be a string player, and just to start introducing them to the different families of instruments. Then we'll have our welcome song, which is, it incorporates each of the children's names. So for instance, It would be, I'm so happy to see Catherine, I'm so happy to see Sarah, I'm so happy to see my friends, everyone has fun at music class.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And they love it because they hear their name in a song, and everybody's singing along with us, so everybody is saying, I'm so happy to see you. And so it just reinforces the fun family atmosphere of the class. We usually have 12 to 14 songs that we'll do in our 45 minutes. They typically include an egg song or a bell song. And we have 2 kinds of bells that we use. This is an infant bell. It's just the perfect size for the little ones. Yes, to hold. And then we have our big bells. The kids like these, so they'll layer them up on their arms and make these big bell shakers. And then in the first 2/3 of the class, we'll do our egg songs, our bell songs, our stick songs. We'll do a finger play song. Then about 2/3 of the way through the class, we'll do a scarf song. This is one of the chances I have to bring in new music for the parents. Each week it's a different song, and it gives me a chance to introduce new genres, new groups, new titles, and they just interpret the music with their scarf. If it's a fast song, they'll maybe shake their scarf really fast. If it's a sweeping melody, they'll do big movements with their scarves. Then we'll do one more song, and then we'll have our instrument play along, which is the highlight of the whole time. I think I tell people,
grand finale.
Yes, at that point we are the loudest thing in that whole building, because the point is to maintain a steady beat. So they'll all grab an instrument or 2 or 3. Sometimes people will use maracas to beat on the drum, or like I said, they put the bells all on their arm, and the only goal is to maintain a steady beat, and the parents all play along too, and so it's a really fun time. I'll bring in like big band music or bluegrass or some ragtime, something that has a really nice strong beat that they're able to feel. Then we clean up again, and then we'll end with a lullaby. This is a neat little chance to kind of just power down so the kids are not so hyper when they leave my class.
Running out of the building in all different directions.
Exactly, and that's a neat time too, because we all literally lay down on the mat, and the kids will snuggle in with their parents or their grandparents, and we'll sing. And then we have our "See You Next Time" song, which is similar to the welcome song, which again, I go around and sing to each child individually, and everybody's saying, "I'm so happy I saw you. See you next time in music class." And then I make any announcements that need to be made, and they're on their way. The 45 minutes goes very, very quickly.
Fast.
Yes, it's very high energy. This is my uniform, t-shirt and pants, because I'm out and around.
You are all over the place.
Yes, and we laughingly say, who needs aerobics when you have music class? Because we get a lot of exercise in that class.
I'm sure. And that's so great. Just all of the things you mentioned, they're learning so much almost without even realizing it, which is the fun part.
It is. You know, they learn by play at this age, and so more than sitting them in a desk with a blackboard or a whiteboard now, they learn by doing and by playing. And so we play instruments, we play activities, we play singing, and we have a lot of fun, and they are learning. It's neat to see the ones especially that have completed the second session, just how they've improved in their pitch matching, improved in their rhythm patterns, and so I'm really proud of them.
And for those students who you notice want to continue, how would they progress? Is there like a grading system, or how do you move up to the next level?
There's not actually necessarily levels. This is the Music Pups is a 3-year curriculum, and it has 11 different collections named for different animals, and each one has a little different flavor. Like I said, last session was more of an African flavor. This one's a little bit more Americana, traditional songs that you probably would have heard growing up. But there's not one that you have to do first. We continue to build on our skills, this independent music accuracy, just like you don't stop talking to your child after they learn how to say mama or papa. You keep exposing them to music. As a teacher, as the students improve in their ability to echo my patterns, I will give them more difficult patterns to do. Instead of just a 2-note simple interval, I'll make it jump around, or I'll add in like the 7th or things like that. So I will increase difficulty for them, but it's not a graded schedule.
Okay, and that's nice because it's just at their own pace when they're ready, and you recognize it and just give them a little more of a challenging approach.
Exactly.
And how about this Little Mozarts program? I know it's not for a little while.
Right. Yes, we're not currently offering it this semester. It'll start again in the fall. It's for 4 to 6-year-olds.
It's a little older.
Yes, a little bit older. It kind of builds on what the Music Pups program has done. There are similarities. We do music appreciation. We work on their ability to do a steady beat, their ability to hear pitches, but then it also incorporates keyboard skills. We spend about half of our time at the keyboard, half of our time away from the keyboard. I love it because it follows the adventures of Mozart Mouse and Beethoven Bear and their music friends, which also have musical names. We have Clara Schumann Cat and Professor Haydn Hippo. And each of them has a story. Each book has a story. So the kids are very engaged with the story, but they're learning more of a music theory, like what is a quarter note, how do I count, what is forte, what does piano mean? Then of course they're learning the keyboard skills to be able to play the piano.
And what would the main difference be just in a traditional piano class as opposed to the Little Mozarts class?
Beyond just teaching them how to play the piano, we're working on developing the entire musician. Not every child is going to want to play the piano for the rest of their life. They may want to do percussion or strings or woodwind. But music for Little Mozarts is a great foundation for whatever they want to do, because music theory is the same across the board. A quarter note is a quarter note no matter what you play. A forte is a forte no matter what you play. So we're teaching them the musical concepts. We also work on solfege, the singing aspects, so we start to develop their inner ear, which is really important when they're doing instruments like stringed instruments or brass, where it's not just to play the right note. There's a lot of wrong notes before you get that right note. So there's a lot of singing. We incorporate the rhythm instruments, the scarf songs as well.
And for a maybe first timer coming into a Little Mozarts class, what could those parents and children expect?
Well, generally we have our hello song that we'll start with, and we'll do some singing right at the beginning. They have things called listen and learn, or listen and sing is what they're called. And they're similar to our tonal patterns, but again, it uses a solfege. They're longer. Sometimes we'll just do fun songs that reinforce concepts we've already worked on. Then we'll come over to the piano. They'll play for me the things that they've been practicing, and then we'll read the story, complete with voices, of Mozart and Beethoven and whatever new thing they're discovering, whether it be, oh, I can play quarter rests by not playing anything. So we go over the new concept, and they'll play their new song. Then we'll do some sort of writing exercise, coloring. That's another time when we'll do our ear training. I'll play something for them, and they have to say, did the notes get higher? Did they get lower? Were they staccato? Were they legato? Then we'll get off of the piano, go back to the mat. We'll do an activity or an instrument or sing a song. Then we generally come back one more time to the keyboard, gives them a chance to either practice their new song, or there's another book called a recital book, which then maybe I'll introduce another new song to them, so that way they have multiple things to practice through the week. And then we generally end with our flashcards, with another song or with a rhythm instrument, and our goodbye song.
And do they get any assignments to take home and practice with their parents? So when
Yes.
they come in, they're improving each week?
Yes. So unlike the Music Pups program, the Music for Little Mozarts is a graded program. There are 4 levels to it. So they have to practice the more they practice, the more that they learn. So they don't practice, they aren't going to make progress.
Just like anything across the board.
Yes.
And how many kids would be in the Little Mozarts class?
4 to 6. 4 is our preference, but we can take up to 6.
Great, great. And I want you, we have a couple minutes left, just share with us some of your contact information where parents who are watching can sign up and get more information.
Sure. They can stop by the School of Harmony in the showroom there. They can give you information, or they can call. The number is 304-253-3095. That's the number for the School of Harmony in Beaver, and they can call to register or to get more information. Also, there's a website, schoolofharmony.com, and they have to find my program, but once they click on that, they can see information. Also, I have a Facebook page, Budding Harmony's Facebook, and you should totally check it out because we have pictures and video clips of our actual classes that are going on, and they're super cute kids to get to see. Also, if somebody wants to try out a class, they can call the School of Harmony. We do take guests into our current classes, so if somebody says, I'm interested, but I don't really know if I want to commit, they can try it out for free for 1 class session. They just have to call because I only have a certain number of spots available for that.
Well, that's wonderful. That sounds like a great opportunity. Everyone, give Sarah a call, and thank you so much for joining us here at WOAY.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. And thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your weekend.